talent, a violent vertical edge setter.
I see some gas on the hips. Give that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, drop. You're finished. Hey, first down. This is weird. Get worse than that, sorry.
Colbert is the one down on the field, making the catch, and that collision with Ryan Thomas. Injury timeout.
Well. What's happening, everybody? This is GreenBean. Welcome to the After Hours Jets Fest, where we express just how tired we are to one another. Oh, what a fun time this is. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy that a lot of you guys are jumping over from our previous stream at Jets Talk 24/7 with Ryan, and we had Richie from Jets Media tonight. I always love spending time with Richie. I actually got to do his show. Was it yesterday or earlier today? I don't even remember. It all smears together. I did O'Leary today. I did Jetnation today. So I was on the Jetnation radio show. A long day at Jets Talk, boy. Let me tell you, but it's nice to see you. I'm happy Tin Star decided to hang out. He says, I'm tired, but I'm going to hang. There you go, Tin Star. It's good to have you around. He says, how do you do this? Well, Tuesdays are rough, if I'm being real honest. This might be the last After Hours Jets Fest for a while. It's becoming difficult. And right now I happen to be moving, like getting everything going, and it's tiring. So we'll see. We'll see how tonight goes, and we'll see what we can get going, how inspired I am to keep it going, but it might be the last one. We'll see. Jets Forever with the Green Heart is back. It's good to see you. Nick really thought he was going to win that shirt. You were first, right, Nick? If I remember correctly, I think you were the first candidate. Sorry you didn't win. Thomas Cahill's with us too all the time. There he is. Marathon Bean. That's right, Thomas. So Thomas Cahill, who is a beanbagger, and last week a beanbagger won the shirt as well. Interestingly enough, Mark Riz. I swear, I promise you, I do it as organized and legit as I can. I follow Ryan's rules. I do not give preferential treatment, but I'm happy to see some beanbaggers won it. But next week, oh no, we're not doing the show next week, most likely, but you'll win some shirts, Nick. So I'm sorry. Big Green is back. No French toast for DJ Reed. Did you guys see that? So DJ Reed was asked at length why he doesn't like French toast, and he gave us the goods. He didn't shy away from it. He said his girlfriend orders it all the time, and he can't even. He said it doesn't appeal to me. I look at it; it doesn't even look appealing. He said then he found out that there's actually egg in it. He said there's egg in the bread. He's like, man, I'm cool. The beat couldn't handle it. They were all like, what do you mean you never even tried it? Come on, you got to try it. He said, I don't want to try it. So that's funny. Yeah, you're in Florida, huh? I know. Yeah, sorry we couldn't hook up. I got to you late, but yeah, Florida's hot, boy. That's why I moved. That's 50% of the reason I moved, because the summers down there are tough, man. I lived down in Miami and Fort Lauderdale for 15 years, and it gets hot down there. It feels like you're in a convection oven. Like when you're on the street, like if you're hanging out, the sun's beating on you, the ground is hot from the sun beating on it, and you get two heat sources, and it can be life-threatening, quite frankly. Jets Mess is here. It's good to see you, Dark Soldier, another candidate to win the shirt earlier. Daniel Murphy, what's up with you, Daniel? Good to see you. Wild Billy Boy's back. Beanbagger's excited for tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow, man. It's our Wednesday get-together, right? Let's see. Chris Bradigan, what's up, Chris? Another beanbagger. You guys are the best, man. That's right. He just got it right. Tin Star said it best. I don't care if he likes French toast or not. He hates allowing receptions. But you know, Tin Star, it's an interesting point to make. You know, like when we went into free agency this year, one of the things we talked about, at least from my end, was that one of the areas I thought that we should focus on is defensive back, particularly cornerback, because I would rather bring in a guy who's a vet for this young cornerback room rather than just depend on another rookie, whether it's a first round or a fifth round, whatever it might be. I thought that it would be really smart to inject a veteran into this young cornerback group that we have. Now, admittedly, when they signed DJ Reed, I'm not up on him. I just didn't really look at him very much. I don't know much about him. Since then, obviously, I've done quite a bit of looking, but I didn't know what to think about him. Now, the very cool piece of that is that he's 25 years old. So we're getting a vet, right? Same thing with Jordan Whitehead. So we got two defensive backs. They're both 25 years old. So even though they're vets, they've been in the league 4 years or so, you get them and they're still in the early phase of their career. They're just hitting what many would call their prime, 24 to 27 years old, right? That's the prime. So we get these two defensive backs, but particularly DJ Reed. So we add that veteran, that leadership, that experience, and we still maintain the youth. I think it's a masterstroke if this guy can cover. Now you look at his PFF and all that stuff. He's a top 10 cornerback in the NFL statistically. Saleh knows him, so there's that as well. So there's quite a few benefits there to adding DJ Reed, and I couldn't be more excited. The idea of adding Sauce Gardner to this mix on top of Jermaine Johnson and Michael Clemens and Vinnie Curry and Bradley and I, like the idea that we added DJ Reed, Jordan Whitehead, Sauce Gardner, and then, we're getting Carl Lawson back to Jermaine Johnson, Michael Clemens, Bradley and I, what the hell's his name? Jacob Martin, who led the Texans in sacks last year. Now it was only 4, but he led the Texans in sacks. So we did such a good job, like bolstering this team with both leadership, talent, and youth. That again, it's like if these guys can coach, it's a masterstroke. What Joe Douglas has done, the manner in which he's building this team is so sound. We've never seen anything like it. Truly, we've never seen anything like it. And I couldn't be more excited for this season. I mean, look, we got to be careful, right? As Jets fans. This is bothering the hell out of me. Hold on. There we go. Okay. I have a calic right here. It's just pissing me off. It's weird. It's like, because the camera's backwards. So I can't, if I brush the wrong side. Anyway, there you go. That's better. So what was I talking about now? Shit, I lost it. Big Green says, now, if DJ Reed said no Taylor Ham, we'd have a problem. I wonder if he has ever even heard of Taylor Ham, right? So that'd be interesting. I can't wait when I come up there for opening week, guys. One of the first things I'm getting is a Taylor Ham, egg, and cheese, and a big one. I'm not going to go get some little skinny ass one. I know exactly where I'm going. You guys know where I go for the best Taylor Ham, egg, and cheese sandwich? You know the Arlington Diner? That's where I go. The Arlington Diner. Second would be TikTok, but I don't, they're hit or miss for me. The TikTok Diner on Route 3, not too far from the stadium. I like to get their disco fries. That's what I like there. They make a nice big heaping plate of disco fries, but we'll do that. But guys, we have to be careful about our fandom. Like, we get excited every year and we get let down every year. But when you look back at it, look back at the last 5 years, right? Let's just look at the last 5 years. There was legitimate reason to be excited for Sam Darnold, right? Like we used the 3rd overall pick on a quarterback. He was widely regarded as the top quarterback in the draft. Clearly, the Browns didn't think so. They went and chose Baker Mayfield, but by most assertions, he was the number 1 quarterback in the NFL. So finally we got a guy. I'm going to lower the light here. Let's see. How's that? Wait. There we go. Do that. It's better. So we finally added a guy that was like, oh my God, we're finally getting that premium quarterback. Now, the Jets did a piss poor job supporting him. You think about it. You trade 3 second-round picks to move up 3 spots. So you use a top 5 first, and 3 second-round picks to take a quarterback. And then in the rest of the draft, all you give him is a 4th-round tight end and a 5th-round running back. That's all they gave him. Everything else was defense, defensive tackle and cornerback and all that. So we did a piss poor job helping the guy out. Never really gave him an offensive line. But Sam Darnold could have created legitimate excitement. We had Jamal Adams, we had Marcus May. We signed Tremaine Johnson earlier. So we had reason to be excited at least. But it crumbled very fast. After that, we didn't do all that much. When we brought Le'Veon Bell on and CJ Mosley, that was a little bit of reason for excitement too. You say, okay, I still believe in Sam Darnold. And we added Le'Veon Bell. We brought in Kelechi Osemele. And so maybe, just maybe, we could put this together. We got Robbie Anderson. You got some guys with some talent. And then you look at, we fire Mike McCagnon. And Joe Douglas, in large part, has been on a teardown tour, right? He got rid of all these guys. He gets rid of Leo. He gets rid of Jamal. He gets rid of Kelechi Osemele, Le'Veon Bell, Tremaine Johnson, Quincy Enunwa. Then he gets rid of Sam. And he just, he's building. He's bringing on guys, Becton, Mims. He's bringing on guys. But then he has to fire his head coach. So he fires his head coach, worst coach we've ever had, in my opinion. And we got to start over there. So you look at last year, we had reason to be excited because it's new people, brand new quarterback, brand new coaches. So there's excitement there. But realistically, it was a long shot that we were going to really do anything. I know a lot of people got excited, said Zach Wilson's a hybrid of Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. You're going to throw for 4,500 yards. And there was all that kind of stuff. But I don't think that was all that realistic, right? And we had a tough year. Injuries were decimating. But we had, with reason to be excited, but not like right now. I think this is the first year that we weren't seeing teardown. This is it. This is the first year that this general manager, 3 years ago today, right? So he's been here 3 years as of today. This is the first year that he had a clean cap. He didn't have dead cap money from Mike McCagnon. That he didn't have a bunch of aged vets that he had to get rid of. He had 2 first-round picks from, got the Jamal Adams trade, the Sam Darnold trade. It's the Chris Herndon trade. It's the year that everything was coming to roost. This was the time we get to use most of our assets. And he's aggressive in the draft. Did you see the difference? Like, look, last year, we did trade up for AVT. But other than that, it was a few trade backs. So he was still doing the trade back, acquire late round picks kind of thing. This year, none of it. He traded up in the first, he traded from out of it back into the first, and then even traded up again in the second for a running back. Not only did we take a running back in the second round, but we traded up for a running back in the second round. So it's just one of those things. When you look at the team, our coaching staff's going into year 2, our quarterback's going into year 2, the systems are in year 2. So everybody that we had last year, whether it's the offensive line, defensive backs, and everybody in between, they get to run second year in the system. Okay. In addition to that, when you look at how we bolstered the offensive line, the tight end room, the wide receiver room, the running back room, the defensive line, the cornerback, safety, we bolstered everything except linebacker. Everything except linebacker. So I think there's real reason to be excited here, guys. I really do. Like legitimate reason. Now, the schedule just so happens to be brutal, right? They didn't need to do that to us. They could have given us a Detroit or a Chicago or a Jacksonville in the first half of the season. They could have, but they didn't. So that's the shitty part of it. It's kind of, the ability to ruin some of our excitement. But at the same time, guys, this is the first year in a long time that I think we have legitimate reason to feel like we might compete, really compete. And if it's DJ Reed Jordan Whitehead, Sauce Gardner, Jermaine Johnson, Michael Clemens, Mekhi Becton, Laken Tomlinson, Conklin, Uzoma, Ruckert, Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, whatever the reasons are, I think they're real. I really do, guys. I really do. Skills maybe talking about assembly. But remember when he came here, guys? He said, I'm going to be Sam Darnold's personal protector. He looked really good in preseason, and then he was a complete schlub. And then he had that injury. The Jets doctor said he didn't need to miss any time. He wanted to take a break and repair something, and they cut him. Said, screw you. You know, this is the thing. At the time, the Jets got beat up a little bit about that. Because don't forget, they did something with Quincy Enunwa too. He didn't show up for his workout, so they fined him. And he said, I was taking my wife out for Mother's Day, whatever it was. And it was a no-call, no-show. So up to that point, that kind of stuff was okay to do to the Jets. We had no balls. We had no backbone. So you could not show up and get over on us. You could say, I don't care what your doctor says. My doctor says this. So whatever. And they would just go, okay, well, I guess if you're done. They were able to be walked on. We got charged the most money to sign people. Agents took advantage of us. Other teams, GMs took advantage of us. So this was Joe Douglas putting his foot down and saying, no, I don't give a shit what you think you can do to the New York Jets. Not here, not now. So he had to put his foot down and fight all that stuff. Kelechi Osemele, Quincy Enunwa, with all due respect. Who didn't love Quincy when he was on the field for us, right? But yeah, it was, dude, rough times. Joe Douglas had to do quite a bit here. Quite a bit, you know? 10 Star says you never liked Darnold and he didn't grow on me. Look, really, in complete honesty, I didn't love Darnold either. Again, I went by all the assessments and everything, and I was excited that for once we got the top guy. And I believed, and I wanted to believe, but the truth is, Sam never really adhered himself to me either. I didn't love him coming out. I didn't like the idea of another USC quarterback, but those were all pushed aside. You know what I mean? I had those thoughts. Truth is, and this is real talk, I thought we were going to draft Baker Mayfield. And if not Baker Mayfield, I didn't want Josh Allen. I'm sorry, I didn't want Josh Rosen. I wanted Josh Allen. That's the other guy I wanted. Now, he would have sucked here. You know that. We didn't have the developmental process to build Josh Allen the way that the Bills did. They did that. We wouldn't have. So it was interesting with Sam. The Salty Nuts, what's up, buddy? He says, I feel like Quinnen Williams is going to be Leo all over again. Well, let's look at Leo for a second. Leo is actually a very good player. And he, you know, one of the things that he offers is that he's rarely hurt. So Leo is very solid, right? He's a solid player. Now, the year after we traded him, he had his best career year right before the contract. You know what they call that, right? Contract year stats. So he had that. But Leo's a good player, you know. So if Quinnen ends up being Leo part 2, and he's just a solid guy, and he plays most of the games, and he gets 6 to 8 sacks a year, and he's, I mean, it wouldn't be third overall pick worthy, of course, but we got to push that aside too. It's like that's no longer relevant. He's a guy on our team that we need to see if he's good. Now, Quinnen last year he started with that foot thing. Remember, he had surgery on his foot in the offseason, so it's like whatever. Supposedly, it took him a little while to get going. But I like Quinnen Williams. But if the best he is Leo Williams, that's not the worst thing in the world. It's not a bust. Now, it's not what we want. We're all hoping for much bigger. Quinnen's still young too, man. He's 24. You know what I mean? He's 20. I think he might even be 23. Hold on. Let's see here. He's 24, December 21st. So he'll play most of this season as a 24-year-old, right? So you know what I mean? He's still young. These guys are still so young. They can absolutely build on what they had. Think about this, John. This is the first year in Quinnen Williams' career that he's coming back. Same thing with Mims and everybody. Becton, that it's the second year in a system. Right? Oh, no, Quinnen had 2 years with Gase, so I take that back. He had Greg Williams, so my bad on that one. But I still think he can be more. I really do. If this 30 plays a game bullshit sticks. I don't know. That's it. Hawks got it. This is what I'm thinking. I feel like Q finally has some help that will make him better. I agree. He was the only guy really worthy of double teaming on our line last year. Even JFM, who's not, look, I don't think JFM is ever going to be a dominant defensive lineman. But the truth is that he doesn't have the bend and the quickness to be an outside edge rusher. And that's where he was all last year. Moving him inside is going to be a lot better. He's slippery in there. He can actually have more of an impact against the guard than the tackle. So while I don't think he's ever going to be Aaron Donald or anything like that, Quinnen with JFM next to him inside and two legit pass rushers, let's just say Carl Lawson and Jermaine Johnson, that can be a big deal. That can be huge for Quinnen. You know what I'm saying? Jets fans united. That first career throw, that will be remembered forever. That was more on the coaching staff. Had no clue what. You mean Sam's first throw? Yeah, dude, think about that. His first career throw, they have him roll out to the right and throw across his body to the other side of the field. Brilliant, right? First throw. You don't even want to give him a check down. You don't want to give him an 8-yard in, a post. You know what I mean? Something simple. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, Q is younger than Michael Clemens. So that's not really, Quinnen's still young, dude. Like Quinnen Williams is 24 years old. Denzel Mims is 24 years old. Zach Wilson is 22 years old, right? Mekhi Becton is 22 years old. Like, we got to give these guys a minute. We're so used to turnover. The best thing that can happen to this organization is that Joe Douglas is here for a decade or longer. Zach Wilson is here for a decade or longer. Our coaching staff is here for a decade or longer. And we keep these guys, that Becton, Fant, Tomlinson, AVT, they're here for 5 years minimum. That's what we should be wanting. That's how a team becomes good for more than 5 minutes. You look at the Buffalo Bills. Their key goal has been keeping that team together. And they've done a great job. Salty checking back in. He says, Greenbean Leo is good. So is Quinnen. Pick 4 got to be better than that's right. I'm pulling for him. Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Like, you got to know who to use your top 5 picks on. Now, as much as I did like Quinnen Williams coming out, I didn't see what everybody else saw. I saw a 1-year guy who looked good. Now, at even the position that we were drafting, like if we were going to stay at pick 3, which I was 100% behind dropping back, drop back 10 spots, get a second. Who gives a shit what it is? Just get some capital back from the Sam Darnold trade. Doesn't matter. There's no quarterback up there, so it's going to be cheaper. Just jump back 10 spots, take Jonah Williams, the left tackle, and call it a day. But if you're going to stay at 3, take Josh Allen, the edge rusher. That's what they should have done. Mike McCagnon is a fool. He has no idea how to build a team. And his ego got in the way. That's why Adam Gase left the room, at least rumored. There were trades on the table, rumored to be the Redskins. They wanted to trade up ahead of the Giants and get Dwayne Haskins. And they would have given us a second or maybe a second and a fourth or something like that. And Mike McCagnon just gave up 3 seconds the year earlier for 3 spots, so he couldn't take a second to move back 10 spots. But that's when ego comes in. I'm going to look bad. You can't look at it like that. You have to look at the assets that are available today. If you lose a little bit, it's still a gain. You understand? You gain a second. You don't need anybody at the top 3. You don't need a fucking defensive tackle, dude. Now, I like Quinnen, and I'm happy he's on the team. I think he's a good kid. I really do. But I wouldn't have taken Quinnen Williams. Never. He's not the guy that I would have taken. Let's see. Hawk checking back in. He says the average snaps per lineman of the other teams in the league who run a 4-3 is 39 snaps. 35 is right in the sweet spot because hopefully our defense won't be out there that much. Well, here's the thing. He's saying 30 to 35, and he's saying hard line. So if we're at 30, we're averaging 9 less than the league average, right? But when you look at the league average, it doesn't mean that a lot of people are in the 40s. Lots, right? When you have players that you're hoping can be legitimately great, Hawk, you want to be able to keep them out there to be great. Great guys come up big in big situations. If you have a hardline rotation and it's time for Nathan Shepard to be out there alongside Jonathan Marshall, you know what I mean? Like in big time, big spots, Quinnen should be in there with JFM, Sheldon Rankins, Jermaine Johnson, and Carl Lawson. That should be our frontline team. Now, the rotation, I believe in rotation. Yeah, sure. Keep them healthy, keep them hot, keep them fresh. That's great. But I still think there should be a tilt. We should be favoring the Quinnen Williams of the bunch. So if we're going to do 30 to 35, Quinnen should be at the 35 and Nathan Shepard should be at the 30. See what I mean? Still a rotation. But I don't think Nathan Shepard should be sharing evenly with Quinnen Williams. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Nathan Shepard's ready to pop. I don't know. I just don't know. But I still think I would love to see 42. That kind of a 40 to 4. I'd rather be 40 to 45 than 30 to 35. And that's just my thought. But let's see, man, if they can mitigate the injuries, like if this is really the catalyst, they see guys wearing down, they've done the analytics, and they think this is going to dramatically improve our injury scenario. Let's go. Let's see how it goes. Who knows? Maybe keeping these guys fresh is exactly what the doctor ordered. You know, I guess we got to give them time to develop their own systems, you know. Paris, what's up, Paris? He says McCagnon was a jokester. McCagnon was a suckster. That's what he was. NPC3 said these guys just tasted beer. What are you talking about? Dom C's in the house? Where's Dom C? I don't see him. There he is. He's talking to Jets forever again. Dom C. What's up, Dom C? You guys know Dom C's article's coming out this week. Another good one. If you guys didn't check out his article from last week, it was excellent about which free agents are still out there. And he didn't talk about Quan Alexander and Ogunjobi either. He gives you 5 or so names of guys that are kind of interesting. Matter of fact, I'm going to put the link in here for you. The link to Dom's latest article. I'm very proud to be able to work with Dom C. He's a good up-and-comer, man. He knows his shit. And I'm happy to be able to work with him. Let's see what else we got here. Shepard is a pass rusher and fits the role if Jonathan Marshall is not ready to take a step in second year. Shepard is more of a run stopper. He did have that. I guess he had that year with 5 sacks. That was kind of the anomaly. When you look at his career, that 5, we had hope that year. I don't really think Shepard can be looked at as a pass rusher. I mean, Sheldon Rankins and JFM are slipperier than him on the inside. But I think they're looking at him to be the clogger. You know what I mean? JFU? That's what I think. Here's the article link for Dom C if you guys want it. There it is. Just so you know, it's in the chat. Guys should take a look. Open it, save it, come back in, read it later. Right? It was excellent, right, Chris? Chris read it. It was excellent. It's fun. Dom's articles are fun. That's the thing I like about it. It's not just information. There's a flavor to it. I just find very attractive. I don't find Dom all that attractive, but I do find his writing to be attractive. Let's see. Yoshi's in the house. What's up, Yoshi? He says, remember in week 2 against the Dolphins when Sam threw it to Herndon and he got caught on the 1 yard line right before the half ended. Clock mismanagement at its finest. Yeah, there was a lot of that stuff. Did you guys see that the Jets hired 4 coaches recently? Did you see that? I was just perusing around, and did you see one of the coaches we hired? Let me get this for you. hire new coaches. Let's see this. Hold on. Hold on here. I'm going to. Come on. There's a coach that we brought in. Wait, this is old. Hold on. Jets hire new coaches. 9 head coaching, 10 years how they change. Dan Shamash. Yeah, okay. So we hired 4 new coaches. We hired this guy, Dan Shamash, who is going to be the situational football game management coordinator. What do you guys think of that? Remember Herm? Remember Herm had to hire the clock management coach? Remember that? He was so bad with clock management that he hired a coach that was his whole job was to be the clock manager. Well, we just hired a coach, Dan Shamash. He is now the situational football game management coordinator. So what do you guys think of that? That's interesting, man. Right? I mean, come on. What do we think? Nobody's talking about it. We're all talking about Becton being fat. It's what about Dan Shamash? We hired 3 other coaches too. We hired an offensive line assistant, a defensive line assistant, I believe. So what do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of that stuff? Is it good that Saleh's recognizing a potential weakness and he's bringing this guy in? Does it mean anything like that? Or is he just an addition? They like his aggressiveness. He's known for being aggressive, they say. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Salty Nuts, thank you for the super chat. He says, for the record, I couldn't care less about Fitzpatrick retiring. He trash talked about his time in New York. No applaud from this guy. I know. He's a piece of shit. And look, there's even reason to believe. Now, I don't know how real this would really be, but there is a little bit of reason to believe. He talked so glowingly about Buffalo and their fans that he threw the game for them. Now, I doubt it, but it's out there. That talk is out there, the way he's talking about Buffalo. I think Fitzpatrick, all he did was have a career year and blow it like he always does because he's a perennial loser. Now, super smart guy, made $100 million or whatever it is in his career. He wasn't even supposed to have a career. 7th round pick or 6th round pick out of Harvard. He wasn't even supposed to have a career. Ended up playing 17 years, 9 teams. He broke our touchdown record largely because of Marshall and Decker. I mean, they had some crazy catches for him. So there's all that. But Anunwa, Chris Ivory, they had a really good team. And they blew it because he's a loser. That's what he is. He never won a single thing. He's never even made it to the postseason in 17 years, 9 different teams. So again, he trash talked us. He trash talked the Jets overall. But in his defense, we're talking about Todd Bowles and Mike Maccagnan. They weren't even on the same page. You know what I mean? Like Mike Maccagnan didn't let his scouts talk to the coaches. Like there was no cohesive team unity. So if somebody comes into that and they've been on 7 teams already, they've been around the block and they see the Todd Bowles, Mike Maccagnan thing, they're like, this place is fucking ridiculous. I'm going to take as much money as I can from here and leave. And that's what he did. So I'm with you. I have no love for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Everything he accomplished in that year, as much fun as we had, he completely threw in the toilet in that last game of the season. So I'm with you, John. No love for him. Sneakers to Boots. What's up, buddy? He says it's actually quite impressive how much different this team is than when JD took it over 3 years ago and getting shafted from the trade and free agency. Yeah, dude. Again, this was the first offseason that he didn't have dead cap money from Maccagnan. This is it. One time. That's it. So it's crazy to see what he did. I mean, now look, now it's down to like he's here. He just had his third offseason, his second with this coaching staff. It's time to start competing. And I support that. But up till this point, I've thoroughly enjoyed his teardown because I've been saying it needs to happen for a long time. I was so sick of building on top of broken foundations. I kept every year, we would be on the message boards talking, and it's like the same shit every year. It's like, yeah, we added a good player, but what good is it going to do? What good is Le'Veon Bell going to do here? Like when we wanted to sign Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins wouldn't come here. We had no offensive line, no wide receivers, no running backs. Like, why would he come here? Anybody looking at the team back then objectively would be like, my career is going to die. And on top of it, the New York fans are intense, and the New York media is going to drag my name through the mud. Talk about how bad I suck. If I sign for 3 years, I'm going to be doing that for 3 years. It's going to be miserable. It's going to suck. We're going to lose. The New York media is going to make fun of me and drag my name through the ground, and the New York fans are going to yell and scream at me for 3 years. Why? It's not worth it. I'd rather take less money and go up there. Right? That's the thing. Let's see. New York Jets 102. I just saw you, buddy. Where'd it go? Let's see. It's nonsense that we need a clock management coach. Shouldn't be a head coach if you cannot handle the clock. This is not calculus. Shake my head. Well, again, I don't know if it's game management. So I don't know what it is. But the truth is that he just hired him. So I'm not sure what it means. So New York Jets 102, I tend to agree with you. Now, if it's like a 1 year thing, like I need to really learn this side of the game better, and he's trying to become a head coach. I mean, look, we hired a rookie coach, like the Jets like to do that. We hire these guys for their first time ever in the job. Then they don't do well in 2 years and we want to fire them, 3 years, 4 years, whatever it ends up being. So we have to remember that if you're going to hire somebody who's never done the job before, there is the chance that he's not going to know how to do it. You know what I mean? He's seen people do it. So here's the positive side to that 102. While I do agree with you, if he's humble enough to want to learn, if he's like, rather than being too proud to not learn it, I would say that's a positive. Fair enough. Like if he's saying, hey, dude, I just don't have a grasp on this. I'm trying to figure out everything. I'm making progress. I'm learning this. I'm getting the injuries on it. I'm doing all this stuff. I really need a little bit of help with this, just like they did with last year, bringing in when Greg Knapp passed away. They went and brought in Matt Cavanaugh and then brought in John Beck on top of it for Zach Wilson. Why did they do that? Because for that 1 year, like both Cavanaugh and Beck are gone. They brought them in for that first year so they could do everything they could to get their quarterback through this first year. So I have to applaud that. Now, you'd love to see your head coach, just your coaching staff get brought on and they're good, like a McVay, right? He's just good right out of the gate. He knows how to do everything. Yes, that's optimal. But if they're not good at it, I'd rather see them take the strides to get good at it than to be too proud to learn it. And we're in a realm where there's a lot of that pride shit going around. You know what I mean? So that's my thoughts on that 102. Hopefully that helps you round it out a little bit. But I don't disagree, though. Iowa checking in. What's up, buddy? He says, so what's the story about Saleh's contractor? I can't seem to find any stories about it. I heard that Joe Douglas sent a couple guys over there to talk to the contractor, and it all got fixed. That's what I heard. Joe Douglas said, wait, what happened? Give me the guy's number. Give me his address. Give me his number. And 2 days later, Saleh came in and said, I don't know. It's the craziest thing. This guy gave all my money back and he's going to do the work. He's already there. He's fixing everything for free. That's what I heard. That's how it should go in Jersey, right? If you mess with the head coach of the New York Jets, we have billionaires. And we're in New Jersey, Northeast New Jersey, New York. There should never be the ability to pull that shit. Ever. You should be dealt with. You know what I mean? It should be taken care of. The fact that it lasted all that time, Iowa, surprised me. I was very disappointed to hear that, and I felt bad for him. So PJ Hudson, Herman was an X's and O's coach, but he had no experience making in-game decisions. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm reading. You guys know I have Mike Westhoff on the show on the Thursday Thick of It on Thursday, and I'm reading his book, and he talks a lot about that. He says there was one thing that he mentioned that he said he wished that he took the route of helping Herm more with that stuff because he knew. He said Herm had so much going for him. He's one of the coaches he liked the most working for, but he definitely had issues there. And he said, looking back, I should have put more of an effort into helping him with that because he just didn't have it. He did not have it. And he was very good in other areas, but head coach needs to be CEO. You need to know everything about everything. You need to delegate, and the guys you have in position should be able to do that shit. But as far as running the deal, it should be the head coach. That's why, look, man, we've had 2, Rex Ryan and Adam Gase, head coaches that were really only caring about one side of the ball. Adam Gase worse than Rex. He actually, Greg Williams was the head coach of the defense. Like, oh my God, dude, look where we've come from. It's crazy. Yoid saying, yeah, it won't hurt. I don't know. I worry. I got to be honest, Yoids. I really do. Jay-Z fan, Jetsfan, what's up? Hey, thank you. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Jay-Z. Oh, yeah. And Iowa said, oh, yeah, I forgot to mention. What's up, buttholes? That's right. What's up with you, butthole? Let's see. Yoshi says, we always had the carriage without the horse. Now it looks like we're building it the right way with the nice stable of horses. That's what I think. It's well put. That's the thing. Like, we try to add the big flashy name and we don't even have a foundation. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we've been doing forever. It's just to pacify. That's all we've been doing. Pacify everybody, keep them off your back. And then every now and then we get a good year. Now, I think Tanny and Rex built a very good team. I'm sorry, Tanny and Mangini. And then when you brought Rex in here, he was the perfect coach to elevate that team. But then they let Rex get into the personnel stuff and he blew it up, man. He should have never been allowed to touch the personnel decisions. Never. You should ask his opinion and get his input, but never. But the reason why they did that is because Tannenbaum wasn't a GM. He's an accountant. Make no mistake. Mangini built that team. The Revis, David Harris, the Brickashaw Ferguson, Nick Mangold, Brad Smith, Leon Washington, Eric Smith, Drew Coleman, all those guys, that was Mangini and Tannenbaum. But you saw the stark difference. Tannenbaum with Mangini, Tannenbaum with Rex. Stark. No more Revis, no more David Harris. We got Kyle Wilson and Quentin Copels. Muhammad Wilkerson. That's what we got. Oh, it's sad, isn't it? It's so sad. Thomas Cahill, thank you for the super chat. He says, talk about the depth of JD's team. He nailed the undrafted free agents again. You know what, Thomas? I have to be honest with you. I didn't love the undrafted free agent class this year. Now, let's see what happens with them. I like the running back. There's a safety I like, but I thought there was such a unique opportunity to get some players that should never have been undrafted free agents this year. Quite a few. They were absolutely draftable players, and they've slipped through, and Joe Douglas didn't get one of them. He didn't get one. He didn't get Leon O'Neal. He didn't get Donovan West. He didn't get Alec Lindstrom. Lots of guys. I thought, holy shit, we're definitely getting one of these guys, and he didn't. Now, the year before, he got Kenny Yeboah, so I was really happy about that. The year before, he got Lamar Jackson. I was happy about that. But this year, so I don't really have positive vibes, but let's see, because you're right. The depth is as far as what we're used to, is significantly improved. Significantly. Look at the defensive back depth. It's unbelievable. Now, safety specifically, we have some questions. Linebackers, we have lots of questions. Defensive line depth, very strong. Running back, strong. Wide receivers, strong. If Denzel Mims is our wide receiver 5 right now, dude, that's insanity. That's a strong group. Now, we don't know what Denzel Mims is going to be, but as far as, potential and all size and measurables, he's fucking as good as a wide receiver 5 as I've ever seen. So we have lots of depth, and I'm with you. The offensive line is a little better. We got the tackles. We got Max Mitchell. We got Chuma still here. And don't forget, Chuma, people don't like him, but as far as a backup tackle, man, he's got in-game, starting experience. He's, good depth. So we'll see. Who's talking politics in here? Cut it out, Jets Forever. Fucking please. Jesus. If you guys don't know about the cyclical, I'm going to leave it alone. If you guys don't know, then you don't know. King Jet. Every year we go through this stuff. Every couple of years. Yo, GreenBean, how often did you write verse go up when you were doing, and then stand up? When did you start? I started stand up when I was 26. I think I was. I write. I do, but I'm more of a riffer. I would bring, so here's how I do it, King Jet. When I would go up on stage, I would bring, like, let's say I was the headliner that night and I had to do 45 or 50 minutes. So I have to do 50 minutes. I would bring 30 minutes of material that I knew I was going to do, and I would riff for 20. So I would ad lib and see what the crowd's given me. I allow myself that time to riff. Sometimes I would riff for longer. I'd end up riffing for 30, push a joke out, and just get to my closer. I always had my opener and my closer, always. And I'd feel the crowd, feel how it went. But I have a little bit more of an innate ability to process that stuff when I'm live as opposed to writing. So I wrote my material, but I'm like, again, I do a little bit better on the cuff than a lot of other people. And there are people that are significantly better writers than I am. That's just, again, all I need to do is get it started. Once I get the show started, I'm good from there. If I get a laugh with the first joke, I'm money. If I don't, I'm in trouble, which I've done plenty, plenty. So yeah, you should do it, man. If you want to do it, the best thing I could tell anybody that is thinking about doing anything creative like that, stand up, get up, fucking do it, and understand that it's not about them. It's not about them loving you your first show. It's not about that. It has nothing to do with it. It's about you working through those feelings and those thoughts. Be very aware of how you think and how you process up there, because you're going to look and they're going to give you stone face. They're not going to think you're funny. It doesn't mean anything. Or you get a million laughs. It doesn't mean anything, because you walk in the next room and they don't care. When I hung out with George Carlin, right? We went backstage with George Carlin at Westbury Music Fair. And he told us this very, very important piece of information. He said, I want to tell you guys, the one piece of advice I can give you is, he said, if you think that 3,000 assholes can't walk into the same room at the same time, you're wrong. If you're going up there and you know your material's solid and they hate you, always remember it's them. 3,000 assholes can walk into the same place at the same time. That's what he said. Just do your job, work your material, learn, and move on to the next show. The next show, you do the same thing, and you might kill. It doesn't matter. It's not about the audience. It's about you. That's what I could tell you. Wild Billy Boy checking in. He says, got to sign off because I've been up since 5 a.m. But what's your thoughts on changing the unis? If you could choose the logo, would it be the 80s theme, keep the green and white, black wall? If I had my choice, what I would do, let me show you, okay? Show you right now. This is the one I like the best. Right here. That's not it. Hold on. Okay, it's like this, but white helmet. I don't know why I can't find it. Where is it? I just saw the damn thing. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'll find it in a second. Here it is. All right, I got it. So I'm going to share. This is my favorite Jets helmet. Okay. If I had my druthers, this is exactly what it would be. Okay. Right here. Can you guys see that? That would be what I do. Wild Billy Boy. I want white helmet. I prefer white helmet. Now, that said, I don't love this color green either. I'd rather go with the Gotham green. I like the Gotham green. I think the actual color green that we're using is badass. I like it. I like Spotlight white. That's fine. You know, Gotham black or whatever it is. What's it called again? Something, but stealth black. I think that's good. But if I had my choice, I would pick this helmet right here. White helmet with the 90s logo. Let's get it going. Let's do it. Now, secondarily, if we had to choose one, I would choose this all day. This was my favorite Jets helmet right here. But look at this. If we did this, see this, guys? Can you see that? If we did this right here, I would be happy as a pig in shit. I'd rather see it this way than the green with the white Jets. I would be very happy if they came out with this. Now, the real problem, I don't have the biggest problem with our uniforms, man. I mean, our helmets. The problem I have, Billy, is that I fucking hate that swooshy thing on the sleeves, on the shoulders. That to me is corny. It's just, I don't even want to wear a new jersey because of it. I will, but I like stripes. And I mean, that's what I like. I don't know. I feel like it's weird to have a swoosh this way. I don't understand that. That's where I have the issue. So this is what I would do. But again, if I had my choice, it's this. Right there. What do you think? I'm going to scroll down. I see a couple more super chats, and 102 and Salty. I'll get back to you guys in a second. I want to see how you guys, you know what? I'll do a poll on the helmets. Okay. So we'll do this. We're going to do a poll right now, and then we'll leave that up there so you guys can, all right. So I'm going to show you right now. Don't answer the poll yet. Okay. I'm going to show you. I'm going to pick number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Okay. Okay. So number 1, white with 90s font. White. All right. Number 2 with white with current font. Okay. Then I'll show you guys these again. Number 3, old logo. I'll just do this. Wait, green helmet with old font, but with 90s font. That's what I'll do. Or the old white helmet, okay? Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So let me show you guys again. So the first one, okay, this is number 1. The one that I have on the screen right now. Okay, that's number 1. Okay. Number 2 choice is this one right here. Okay. The number 3 choice is, where is it? This one. Okay. This one that we always, it's a little bit different, but this one, this is number 3 right here. Look at that. That's sharp, isn't it? Look at that. That's the same as this, like some variation of this, okay? Like that one. And number 4 is this one. You know what I mean? The old one that we had, okay? So go ahead and vote. I'll leave that in there. Okay? Man, look how sharp that is, guys. Look at this. Oh, I love it. Don't you guys love it? I think this is money in the bank right here. What do you guys think? All right, so vote. Go ahead and vote. The poll is up now. All right, did I put the poll up? Yeah, I did. Okay. All right, so we'll do that. Now let me get to the super chats. You got to vote in the poll, JE, okay? Vote in the poll. If you guys can't see the poll, hit refresh, and it'll come up. Let me get to these super chats real quick. If you're leaving, though, good night, Billy Boy. Salty Nuts checking back in. He says, Green Bean, we seriously have to get a good backup at tackle. Saleh said Becton is coming to minicamp but won't participate. This is getting rid. Why is it getting rid? It's not changed, John. Nothing has changed. He said a month or 2 ago he's starting at training camp. He'll be there for mandatory minicamp, and he's starting in training camp. Like, it's never changed. I mean, at least as far as the offseason. I don't understand. I really don't, John. Like, I have the same concerns for his health as anyone else. Like, I maybe not as anyone else, but I'm also hoping that he can stay healthy. All right. But as far as this reaction to every single thing that has to do with Becton, like, I don't understand. He's 22 years old. He's proven that he can play in the NFL. Guys get injured all the fucking time. He had a season-ending injury. He's been rehabbing it all offseason. Saleh told us at the owners' meetings he's going to start training camp, and that's what we're seeing. Like, why do we react again, John, to every single week? Like, every single week or anything. We're like, oh, no, it's like it's only tiring if you're expecting things to change. I'm not tired of it. And look, I want you to, I'm just as concerned as far as about the health of the team. I am. But nothing has changed for months. The only thing that I think went wrong is they said 4 to 8 weeks. I think it was 6 to 8 weeks. But either way, if they didn't say that, when he went down and was crying on the field, when they were taking him off, we all thought it was season ending. The Jets came back and said 8 weeks. It didn't happen in 8 weeks, and now it's Becton's fault. Now Becton sucks. I don't know, John. I really don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm too passive. I don't think I am. I think I'm just looking at it. I'm listening to what's being said. I'm watching what's happening, and I don't see anything that changed yet. Saleh never said that Becton's going to be participating in OTAs, or he said training camp. We expect Becton practicing at training camp. Now, he'll be at mandatory minicamp. Why? Because it's mandatory. So he'll be there. I don't know. Jets 102. He says, looking forward to see the revamped defensive line plus Jersey's own Curry will make some noise. I hope so. He'd be nice to have for the rotation, right? I mean, look, I think here's the thing with Vinny Curry. Vinny Curry is known as a leader too. Like, he's very positive for the young guys. So we have Carl Lawson, who we know Carl Lawson is the leader of the defense, the leader. Even guys like CJ Mosley sat there in the circle and listened to Carl Lawson. So Carl Lawson is the leader of the team, the emotional, vocal leader of the team, and leading by example on what he does for hard work and work ethic and all that character. There were the clips last year of him kind of giving Jared Davis the business, like, you can't do that. That's not how we do it. You know, those kinds of things. So when you add a guy like Vinny Curry to that mix, who's also known as a leader, then you bring in DJ Reed and Jordan Whitehead, who are younger vets and leaders. Our team is so young. CJ Mosley, he's kind of reserved and quiet, but he's still a leader. So we have a really nice mix of leaders on this team. The fact that a bunch of them are consolidated on the defensive line, I think is just perfect. Because I am also looking forward to seeing a revamped defensive line. dude, Carl Lawson, if he comes back and plays the whole year alone, dude, we had none of it last year. I'm so like, that's the guy. Why aren't we nervous about him? He's had 3 season-ending injuries, man. And he's getting older. He's 27, 28. What is he again? Let me see. Carl Lawson. Whoops. Come on. Suck. 26. So he turned June 29. So he'll be 27 at the season. Let me stop sharing this. So he'll be 27 years old. So definitely not old by any stretch, right? But he's older. Like Becton's 22. Carl Lawson's 27, has had 3 season-ending injuries. And, you know, that's where my concern is. I'm more concerned. Now, people say, well, Carl Lawson's a workout warrior. I don't know. It looks to me like Becton's a workout warrior, too. It's clearly bigger and fatter. But that's kind of the deal. That's what, you know, he's a big, fat offensive lineman. So I don't know. But I think that it's going to be interesting to see what this defensive line can do, because I even like the depth. I like Jacob Martin. I like Bradley Anae. I'm hoping that Zuniga can stay healthy. That's a guy I'm worried about. He can't stay healthy for shit. And I liked him as far as his talent, but this is it for him. That guy has not stayed healthy for more than a few games since he's been here. You know? So it's just like, our defensive line is exciting. Like even the back, look, 3-4 years ago, our bottom end would have been the guys we were hoping to start and make waves. Bryce Huff, Bradley Anae, Vinny Curry. These are the guys that we would have been depending on. And then we have a couple defensive tackles in there. But we got Quinnen Williams, JFM, Carl Lawson, Jermaine Johnson, Vinny Curry, Jacob Martin, Bryce Huff, Bradley Anae, Jabari Zuniga, Solomon Thomas. Like, dude, we are stacked. Sheldon Rankins, we are stacked. Sheldon Rankins, another guy known as a leader. They love him. Cameron Trammell, what's up? He says, I haven't seen you. I think I haven't seen you before, Cameron. Maybe I have. Either way, welcome, Cameron. You're right, Greenie. I'm with you. We're just been spoiled the last couple of months, so we tend to try to critique, try to figure out every little thing as opposed to just going with the flow. Yeah, and I think, you know, look, if there's any credit that I can give Jet Nation at large, it's that we are a weather-beaten bunch of fans, aren't we, man? Shit. Like I say all the time, what other fan base, just give me this, what other fan base has the butt fumble, the booger, the hot dog on the sidelines, and their quarterback getting his jaw broken in his own locker room in the same team? Like, who else has that? And there's so much more. You know what I mean? There's so much more embarrassing shit. The feet, the Rex Ryan feet thing. Like, no one deals with what we deal with. So at this point, it's just, I mean, I know that the underneath of it is everybody just wants our team to fucking be good. That's all we really want, right? That's all we want. It's just, come on, please. Please, can we just be good? Please. Like, that's all we want. And we're concerned, but, you know, that's the thing, right, Cameron? It's like, I think that we just need to calm down and let everything and just go with the flow. Let's just watch it. OTAs are two ticks above meaningless. It's just getting the bodies going again. It's getting the rooks, the playbooks. It's getting them running around the field. It's getting guys acclimated. It's getting them together. That's all it is. Zach Wilson threw 2 errant passes or 4 bad. Please. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't care. Again, I always prefer to hear good shit. Don't get me wrong. Oh, Dom's article. Yeah, he talks all about swing tackle, though, Salty. And look, I'm not saying I disagree with the idea of bringing in a tackle or anything. Here's what I'll say. You know, I was having a conversation earlier with somebody in the last stream, and they were saying that the coaching staff, why hasn't the coaching staff committed to Becton if they're not concerned? And I said, well, who said they haven't committed to Becton? They didn't bring in another tackle. They didn't bring in the Icky. Right? That was the narrative we were hearing. We were told that Icky was the likely pick at 4 by many people. I never thought we were taking Icky for 1 second. Then, yeah, to be fair, I didn't think we were taking Sauce Gardner either. So there's that. You know, I'm not necessarily touting how right I am. I'm just saying, like, if you want to know if they're committed to Becton or not, they have one tackle who's 30 years old. He's going to be 30 this year. And he's in his last year of his contract. They re-signed Chuma Edoga, Connor McDermott, 2 guys that have been here. So they re-signed the depth guys, and they used a 4th-round pick on Max Mitchell. If that's not committed to Becton, I don't know what is, dudes. You know what I mean? Like, we can listen to our beat reporters spin 400 pounds. Blah, blah. We can listen to them if we want. But when I look at the New York Jets, Robert Saleh said, Mekhi Becton will be here practicing for training camp. We see the videos of him and his trainer. We know he had his first child. So there's all kinds of real stuff. There's all kinds of stuff. And they didn't bring in Icky, Evan Neal. You know what I mean? They didn't bring in a 2nd-round tackle, a 1st-round tackle, a 3rd-round tackle. They brought in Jeremy Ruckert over a tackle. They thought tight end was a bigger need than tackle. Now, BPA and all that, I understand. But I'm just saying, if you're looking for the Jets to give you a sign that they believe in Becton, I think that's about as good as you're going to get. They didn't even sign the Morgan Moses like last year. Now, maybe they still do. Maybe we don't know. You know, that could still happen. But they did it last year too. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. My good friends. That's what I'm thinking, Jets forever. I think, he had a really strong rookie year. Really strong. Impressively strong. He didn't play in 2 games his rookie year. A couple nagging little things. Week 1, he got rolled on because Greg Van Roten sucks. And he missed the season. Like, you know what I mean? He's 22. Now, if this was his 2nd torn knee and he was 26, 28, I'd be like, it's time for some insurance. And I still like that they drafted a 4th-round Max Mitchell for that insurance. Hopefully he doesn't have to play. You don't want him to play yet. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking too, Paris. I mean, I definitely get the impression that Saleh and company are not necessarily as in love with the first draft class as maybe Joe Douglas was, but that draft class was for a different coaching staff. We know that. Phil Savage came out and said as much. He said we had to learn a whole new coaching staff this year. In Flight 2021, go watch it. Phil Savage says we had to learn and figure out the needs of a whole new coaching staff because we're drafting for a different team than we were last year. So that stuff is real. That stuff applies. That said, you think Joe Douglas all of a sudden wants to throw away a 1st-round pick when he hasn't done anything to warrant that? You think he wants to throw away his 2nd-round pick when there's really no reason to? Like, guys have bad seasons. Guys have slips. Guys get injured. You can't cut and run as soon as that happens. You got to support each other. You got to fucking uplift people. You got to develop them. Like somebody was saying, Becton has red flags that he's, against speed rush. I mean, that's not a red flag. That's development. That's what needs to be developed. Every player has them. Strengths and weaknesses. They're not red flags. A red flag is, we came into his room and there was a crack pipe on the table. That's a red flag. He's getting accused of, inappropriate masseuse. That's a red flag. You know what I mean? There's a report that he beat up a woman. That's a red flag. Having skills to develop is not a red flag. That's what the coaches are there to do. JFU, he says, Becton is now fit and raring to go with new chip on his shoulder named Junior. Sorry, Fant, back to right. That's the thing. A lot of Jets fans assume Becton's going to right tackle. And look, that might happen. I don't see it. I mean, if it does, fine. As long as they're Fant and Becton are out, as long as we have our tackles, right? That's the bottom line. That's what we need. We need to know that these guys, that we don't need to have a bunch of scrubs in there and we need to use a first round pick on it next year. That's the most important thing. So if Becton's on the right and Fant's on the left and they play well, great. But I don't know. I think Becton's twice the tackle that Fant is. And I like George Fant. But he's not Becton. So if Becton's healthy, I think he's absolutely our left tackle. Dark Soldier checking in. He says, I know I'm guilty of this every year. However, this year feels way different. All the way from the owner down to the free agent and rooks. They will all fight to death for each other. Dude, it is different, Dark Soldier. It's very different. Dude, look, just this last week, we had an article from a player we all liked and we considered a good player, a character guy. Avery Williamson. He came out and said, I went to the Jets for the money. They came out of nowhere and gave me more money than anybody. He was going to go to the Colts, he thought. And the Jets swooped in and said, we'll give you $2 million a year more, or whatever it might be. Why the hell do you think CJ Mosley came here? He talks a good game now. And I believe that he believes it now. But he didn't come here because he wanted to help build the fucking Jets. He came here because Mike McCagnon paid him $5 million a year more than his going rate. The Ravens offered him $12 million a year. We came in and paid him 17. That's why. And we guaranteed 70 million of it or whatever it was. Dude, that was unheard of at the time. Not 1 million more. That's enough. 5 million more. That's like 40%. You know what I mean? It's a 40% increase, dude. He's like, hell yeah. Hey, Hepburn, using my fellers, huh? What's up, fellers? I did it all the time. That's the first time I saw somebody actually reply with it. You know, I've been saying fellers for 2 years to you guys. Nobody ever says anything, Hepburn, so thank you. But let me tell you, Dark Soldier, I feel the same way. It's a different team. It's a different team. Now, again, we don't know if we're going to win. I don't even know if Robert Saleh can be a head coach. We don't. I think he's given me enough to be excited about him. I like Brant Boyer. Ulbricht I'm concerned with, and Saleh I'm concerned with. No, I have hope. I think he's shown me enough. He's got the leadership thing. He grew last year. He's already changing some practices to try to, make up for the injury stuff. So he's learning. I'll give him that. And he's clearly respected. So he has a bunch of positives. So I have hope for him, but I'm not convinced Saleh's a great coach. And I'm definitely not convinced Ulbricht's a great defensive coordinator. He got that job because he's Saleh's buddy. Now, in his defense, though, he was out there. He was a linebackers coach, not with Saleh. And he got promoted to defensive coordinator interim. So he's got his own career going. He's clearly, an NFL coach. But we don't know what these guys are going to do. Now, it was their first year last year, and they got decimated. Dude, Greg Knapp died. That's one piece. They had to change and switch everything. Mike LaFleur said it in his presser this week. He said, we had to switch gears suddenly, and that sucked. He goes, it sucked. I bet it did. And football's the least of the reasons why that sucked. Merkley Media. GreenBean, I'm from the future, and 4 Jets players just got named as Pro Bowlers. Who are they? Well, you tell me, future man. Dude, we got somebody from the future, and he's come on. Tell me. Let's see. 4 Pro Bowlers. Here's what I got for you. Breece Hall is going to be a Pro Bowler this year. That's what I think. I think they're going to focus, make the offense around him, and I think he's going to be a Pro Bowler. I also think AVT is going to be a Pro Bowler. Let's see who else. Let me run through. I think Jordan Whitehead will be a Pro Bowler. And why not? Quinnen Williams. Did I get it right, Merkley? Tell me. Tell me, Merkley. Let's see. They are, aren't they, Paris? The Mike McCagnon signings are so terrible to relive. Dude, it was, I knew that whole, now look, let me be real square, and I've said this to you guys before. I hated a lot of things going on during the Mike McCagnon era, but I really did believe that Mike McCagnon was getting guys that Todd Bowles wanted. That's what I believe. Like Darren Lee, Jamal Adams, Marcus May, they looked to me like Todd Bowles guys. Then you had the whole thing. Todd Bowles hired 3 offensive coordinators in 4 years, 2 of which were retired when he hired them. So I was not a Todd Bowles fan. I didn't like very much about him. First year, I had a lot of hope. I said, okay. But he always struck me as never going to make it here in New York. The way I look at our coach is this. Whenever we hire a head coach, I think to myself, is this the guy that's going to unseat Belichick in this division? Adam Gase? Nope. I just said never in a fucking million years. And then Todd Bowles, I felt the same way. I said, there's no way. Rex, I thought he could. And for a little while there, he was doing it. Rex was 3-2 against Belichick his first couple years. You know what I mean? So Rex had it. But Todd Bowles, never. Adam Gase, never. Now, Robert Saleh, again, I don't know. I think he's got enough there that he might be the guy. But I'm not convinced. But so anyway, with Mike McCagnon, I saw all the bad moves. I didn't like when they cut Terrell Pryor. I didn't like when they hired, Spencer Long. And I just didn't like what they were doing at the offensive line positions. I didn't like Chuma Edoga as a pick. I was happy that they finally took a damn offensive lineman in the draft, but Chuma Edoga was like the last guy I wanted. I was like, that's the guy? I didn't want them to take Westco. Like, it just went on and on and on and on and on. But ultimately, it ended up that Mike McCagnon sucked by himself. He didn't even let Bowles have an input for much of that time. So, but man, was that a tough period of time. Yeah, right, PG. LaFleur just better stay upstairs. Well, did you guys hear this week? I couldn't believe Saleh just let it fly that Calabrese was courted for an offensive coordinator position this year. Rob Calabrese. Dude, he's a 1-year quarterback coach, and his quarterback was at the bottom of the league. How the hell does that happen? But he chose to stay here. Now, why? One is he could be excited. He's excited about Zach. He wants to kind of finish the job a little bit. I think another realistic reason would be he doesn't feel like he's ready. It's like, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to fail. And then I'm never going to get another job. Do it the right way. Be a quarterback coach for 3-4 years. Then be an offensive coordinator maybe he's going to do that. But I thought that was fascinating. I didn't know that. I mean, we do know that they let him call the offense at the Senior Bowl. So he did really well. The offense looked smooth. He did a good job. But it's the Senior Bowl. It's not NFL. But he still looked good in his first trip. So did Middleton. Now, I wonder if in the event LaFleur got hired as a head coach somewhere, Who's our offensive coordinator? Is it Calabrese or Ron Middleton? You know what I mean? I think Middleton. He didn't say either one, Yoshi. I don't know. He said he was being there were requests to hire him for coordinator. So I don't know if it was NFL. I assumed it was NFL, but honestly, I don't know. Ryan Jet, you want Pittsburgh to be great so we can meet them in the championship and get our revenge? That'd be fun. I'd rather they suck and we beat them week 4. That's what I'd rather. I just want to start this season without going 0-3, 0-4. That's what I want. I do not want to start this season because of the gauntlet they laid out for us. I want to beat the Ravens. I want to beat the Browns. And, I want to play well after that. If we lose some games tight, I'm fine with that. But I want to win those first 2 games. That's what I want to do. And at bare minimum, we got to win one of them. And it should be Baltimore. Losing to the Jacoby Brissett Browns, though, would suck. But they have a lot of talent, man. That team is stacked. Make no mistake. Jets Forever said Saleh will get Coach of the Year. That'd be great. If he does, then we're on to something, man. Jeremy's here. Jets Chaos. What's up, Jeremy? He says Quinn needs to be a Pro Bowler if he wants 18 to 20 million. Well, he might not be a Pro Bowler if they're giving him 30 snaps a game, 30 to 35 snaps a game, and he ends up with 6 sacks and they love what he did. But he's not going to hit Pro Bowl numbers like that. But if he's valuable to the team in their rotation, it could be. You know what I mean? All right. Let's wrap this up. I'm tired. I'm tired tonight. Saleh said Mims doesn't know the playbook. No, he didn't. He didn't say that. I'd love to see that link. I didn't see that. He said Mims was never right last year. Never. And don't forget, when they say he doesn't know the playbook, please include in those comments, Mess, that they were asking him to learn 3 positions. Don't forget that. Listen, I want to just lay this out. Denzel Mims played 279 snaps last year. He had 2 drops, 5 penalties. So can we please stop making it out to be as bad as it? He was definitely off, and he definitely had a bad year. But he also had food poisoning, lost 20 pounds, and COVID last year. So there's a lot there. He's 24 years old. He's 6'3", with 4, let's just call it 4.4 speed. Fantastic hands. Let's give him a shot. I like Denzel Mims, and I think they should give him his due. He has every reason to be given a shot. Start at wide receiver 5. If he gets 35, 40 catches this year, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, whatever, something like that, I'm fine with that. Let him build his career. It's fine. Tin Star would promote Calabrese. Let me say this, though, and this is something the Jets should think about. If it's equal, you might want to promote Middleton, because in the event he gets hired as a head coach, you get 2 third-round picks because he's a minority. Calabrese is not. Now, if one's better than the other, I don't believe in letting that govern you. But if things are equal and you're looking for the decider, dude, Ron Middleton's got head coach all over him. He might be the kind of guy that you make the assistant, like he's tight ends coach, assistant head coach, and he jumps right over offensive coordinator and goes to head coach. He's one of those guys. Ron Middleton has head coach written all over him, in my opinion. Now, I don't know, what he knows specifically, but he looks like a leader of men to me. And he was the head coach in the Senior Bowl. too. So let me see something here. Watch this.
Big day. Coach Middleton,
Yes,
what an unbelievable effort.
Yes,
Your
it was.
inspiration at halftime, they got it there, man.
Well, I appreciate your effort, man. Hell of a job. You should be proud of yourself.
I'm so proud of everybody. I mean, it's been a hell of a year watching this damn game, but whatever it freaking takes, offense, I freaking love the way y'all ran the ball today, man. That was freaking awesome. How about Braxton?
Right? You see our leaders? Did you hear the way that those men responded to both Middleton and Saleh? You hear that? There's a lot of respect and love in the room, guys. Yes, Saleh is a minority. The San Francisco 49ers got 2 third-round picks for us hiring him. It's very similar to comp picks. I remember when we hired him and they were talking about that. A lot of people wrote me and said, it's such bullshit that you have to give us 2 third-round picks. I'm like, that's not the way it goes. The NFL awards the third-round picks. So they're like comps. So it's at the end of the third round, you get an additional pick. So they gave him one last year. They'll give him one this year. Or maybe it's this year or next year. I forget. Well, why would that? Tin Star said he wants to do Calabrese one position coach instead of 2. But if you bump up tight ends coach, Calabrese stays at quarterback coach. I don't know. Maybe it's not piecing together for me, buddy. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I'm tired. Yeah, make Middleton the assistant head coach. Saleh is the anti-Gase, bro. Think about that, dude. They didn't even like him. They didn't respect him. He didn't address the team. He didn't even address the team. He had other coaches do that. Greg Williams probably addressed the team a lot. All right. I always got the right idea. All right, guys, listen. Thank you guys for being here. I want to remind you, we got Coach Mike Westhoff coming on the Thursday thick of it this week, this Thursday, with Frankie, Y2K, Jeremy, and myself. And we're going to have him for the whole time, I think. At least an hour, probably 2. I'm reading the book. It's going to be the best interview you heard. Okay, I have some really good questions lined up. Interesting questions. I'm not looking for drama. I'm looking for good football conversation with a legendary Jets coach. So I can't wait to do it. I'm so excited about it, and it's going to be fun. But I thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you guys are looking for more private content, join the Beanbaggers. The link is in the description of this video. And we have a good time, man. So that all said, you guys are the best. Have a great night, and I'll see you Thursday. Good night, everybody.
I think he's going to be day one, a violent vertical edge setter.
We compete today. I see some gas on the edge. Get that mindset.